Well, good morning, church. As you may know, we're reading through the Old Testament in 2 years, and each weekday we bring you a short video devotion on a different section of Scripture. Thursday is wisdom, and today's reading is Proverbs chapter 3, verses 21 to 35. If you get to read it, please pause and do so now. So far in our journey through Proverbs, we've seen that wisdom means loving God and living in line with His revealed will. We've spoken quite a bit about the personal benefits of following God's wisdom, but we don't want to fall into the trap of thinking that wisdom is only of personal benefit. Today's passage shows us that biblical wisdom is others-focused, benefiting those around us. Have a look, particularly at verses 27 to 30. It says, "Do not withhold good from those to whom it was due when it is in your power to act. Do not say to your neighbor, 'Come back tomorrow and I'll give it to you,' when you already have it with you. Do not plot harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully near you. Do not accuse anyone for no reason when they have done you no harm." This section here takes us back to Leviticus 19. In verses 9 to 18, this section of law tells us that God's people are expected to be generous, just, kind, and honest. And it ends with the profoundly simple command, love your neighbor as yourself. Now, of course, this is repeated by Jesus, isn't it? When he is asked what is the greatest commandment, he said, love your God and love your neighbor. The two are inseparable. You can't have one without the other. And we must not fall into the trap of thinking that wisdom involves us and God and no one else, because true wisdom is others-focused. Listen to the words of Jesus' brother, James 1:27. "Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world." Now, note the words of John in 1 John 3:17 to 18. "If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." These verses are only a snapshot of the biblical reality that our love for others is the true indication of our love for God. This is wisdom. And when we look at Jesus, wisdom incarnate, we see a beautiful picture of this. Jesus had perfect congruence between his love for God and his love for others. He cared for the oppressed, he healed the sick, he fed hungry people, he welcomed the outsiders, he showed forgiveness and grace, and he remained completely obedient to God, even to the point of death. And this embodiment of wisdom, which acts as our example, but also as our defense when we fail, because we know that Jesus' perfection is ours when we trust him. And so, go into the day knowing that because of Jesus you are perfectly wise in God's eyes, and you're also equipped to live with wisdom that involves loving your neighbor as you love yourself. So, let's consider today, how can you show love to your neighbors? Make a note of it, jot it down, pray it through, but then go out there, as John says. Don't just do it in speech, but with actions and truth. Go live that out today. God bless.